You tap your phone against a small metal reader. Money moves. No cash touches your hand. No coins jingle. No paper changes pockets. The whole exchange takes under a second. For most of human history, that transaction looked nothing like this. Sometimes it took days, sometimes weeks, and it required something far stranger than a card. So what did people actually trade before money existed? Anthropologist David Graeber spent years answering that question. In 2011, he published research on early economies across 5 continents. His findings surprised almost everyone. Barter wasn't the starting point. Small communities ran on debt and memory instead. If you gave your neighbor a fish today, he owed you, not a coin. A favor, tracked socially, repaid whenever it made sense. This system worked fine in villages of 50 or 100 people. Everyone knew who owed what, but trade between strangers, people who might never meet again, needed something else, something both sides would trust on sight. The earliest solution came from the sea. Cowrie shells, small and glossy, harvested from the Maldives and coastal China. Archaeologists have found them in Chinese burial sites dating to 1200 BCE, the Shang dynasty. They were light, hard to fake, and impossible to grow more of overnight. That last part mattered more than people realize. Scarcity is what gives an object trust. Across the Pacific, on the island of Yap, people built an even stranger system. Huge limestone discs, some over 3 meters wide, called ryestones, quarried on Palau, an island 400 kilometers away and hauled back by canoe. A single stone could take months to carve and transport, sometimes costing lives at sea. Here's the strange part. Owners rarely moved the stones at all. A stone might sit in a jungle clearing, and everyone on the island simply remembered who owned it. In 1898, one stone sank during shipping. The island agreed it still counted as currency. Ownership existed entirely as shared memory. No object needed to change hands. Meanwhile, in Mesopotamia, a very different system was forming. Around 3000 BCE, temples in Sumer began weighing silver to measure value. Grain worked too. Barley became a standard unit of payment. Scribes pressed wedge-shaped marks into wet clay, recording who owed what. These cuneiform tablets are the oldest known written contracts on Earth. By 1754 BCE, King Hammurabi carved 282 laws into a stone pillar in Babylon. Many of them fixed exact prices in silver for grain, rent, even medical treatment. A doctor who healed a broken bone could legally charge 10 shekels. Silver was valuable, but it still had a problem. Every payment meant weighing metal by hand. That changed around 600 BCE, in the kingdom of Lydia. King Alyattes ordered small lumps of electrum, a natural gold-silver mix, stamped with a lion. Each piece carried a fixed weight and a guaranteed value. No more scales at every transaction, just a trusted symbol. These were the first coins in recorded history, minted in the city of Sardis. The idea spread fast. Greece, Persia, and eventually Rome all built their economies around stamped metal. Roman legions were partly paid in salt. Salt preserved meat and prevented disease on long campaigns. Roman writers later linked that payment to the word salarium, the root of salary. By the 7th century, merchants in Tang Dynasty China faced a new problem. Copper coins were heavy. Long trade routes meant carrying enormous weight. So merchants began issuing paper receipts, promises redeemable for coins stored safely elsewhere. In 1023, the Song government took the idea further. They printed the first government-backed paper money. It was called jiaozi. A piece of paper now carried the same trust that silver once did. Centuries later, that same trust moved again. In 2008, an anonymous person using the name Satoshi Nakamoto published a 9-page paper. It described a currency with no bank, no government, no physical form at all. Bitcoin launched in January 2009, backed by nothing except code and a shared public ledger. Today, that ledger runs on thousands of computers instead of a Sumerian clay tablet. And your phone, tapping a reader in under a second, still relies on the same idea Hammurabi carved into stone. A promise, trusted by strangers, recorded somewhere neither of you controls alone. Money was never really about metal or paper. It was about getting 2 strangers to trust each other long enough to trade. Shells, stones, silver, coins, paper, code. Different objects, Same problem, solved again and again for 5,000 years.